The first order of business, the first port of call is to take down that constitution so that we can remove that power of a monopoly over guns from those who have seized it. Those who are talking about Oduduwa Republic and Biafra Republic, if that constitution is not taken down, you are criminalized for even saying so. You can be killed on sight. You can be shot at sight for saying you are fed up. And I don't know who they think they are threatening with all the kind of nasty things we hear coming out of Abuja. But I don't blame them, because they've taken it for granted that Nigerian youths are lazy. They've taken it for granted that people are going to be terrified by the fact that they are coming with guns. If anybody wants to understand the gravity of this question around the Constitution, you go to the preamble of that Constitution. I want the lawyers in the land to listen carefully. The senior advocates, the professors of law. The preamble to the Constitution begins with, we, the people of Nigeria, having firmly resolved to live in unity as one indivisible country. That's how it begins. It means we, the Yoruba, we, the Ijo, we, the Ogoni, we, the Tiv, we, the Biram, we have solemnly resolved, we have discussed to submit our lands and our people into this union called Nigeria as one indivisible entity. Then it comes at the closing line on that same preamble to say, do hereby enact, make, and give unto ourselves the following constitution. That is, having agreed to be in this union, we have now made this constitution. Those are the two issues of all the things anybody is saying should change. Those are the two issues that have to be resolved as a matter of starting before we begin to talk of the contents. Like the memo and articles of the company are two different documents. The memo creates the company. That is where Johnson, Jude, and James come together to form John James Limited. They are submitting their assets. They are submitting their finances. They are submitting themselves to take risk to be called John James Limited. It is after they've done that in their discussions and agreement that they will go to the next item of writing the one they call articles. The memo creates the company. The articles define the relationships among the owners of the companies. There are two different documents. The problem with Nigeria right now is that the memo that brought us together in 1960 have been toppled by the management. The government is in the position of the management of a company. So the president, the National Assembly, and all of those who are in government in Abuja are only a part of that management team. The hiring process for that management team is called elections. It happens every 4 years. The mandate of the National Assembly does not go to making memo and article. Just like the hired management of a company cannot be discussing the memo and articles of the company over and above the owners of the company. The owners of the company can gather under a mango tree anywhere and dissolve their company if they can no longer take charge of their company. All the discussions of let us go and agree again to be in the union, which was the discussion in Aburi, which was truncated after an agreement was reached in Aburi, and which led us to war, which has now led us to this constitution, in which the constitution we have on the table is the victory charter from that war. We all know how it came in 1975, that Murtala Mohammed chopped off Gawan and commissioned the writing of a draft that will become constitution. All of what they imposed by brigandage from that war. The states they have created in place of the regions. Because like you alluded to in your intro, Ahmadu Bello rejected, and the Northern delegation rejected, they rejected the independence in 1953 when Enohoro moved the motion. What we have now, which they call one Nigeria, they are two different things. Nigeria, nobody is opposed to Nigeria. It is one Nigeria that emerged from brigandage that is being rejected. It is that one Nigeria that is defined by this constitution. The meaning of one Nigeria is the Nigeria owned by Fulani. If anybody still is confusion in their mind, let that person wake up from slumber. Because Fulani is not content with being in charge. everybody's assets. They've seized everybody's rights. We can't generate electricity to run our lives because they put it on the exclusive list. We can't do our roads, we can't do our railways, we can't do our ports. We can't do anything for ourselves. We can't even elect who will govern us. We can't incorporate a company to do business. Everything you need to do, you have to go to get licensed. And then, because they've seized all the assets, remove allocations from Dangote, richest man in Africa. They allocate the port of Lagos to Dangote. He's building a refinery. Where would the crude come from? They allocate the limestone of Middle Belt and everywhere they find limestone to Dangote. He's producing cement at everybody else's cost. And so, what we have is a sovereignty dispute that has arisen. The way to approach it, because those who are on the receiving side of this 60 years of brigandage are not going to take it anymore. And that's why we're happy that these young people found a starting point in what came directly at them. All the while they were being misled. Some people say, oh, good leadership. There's no possibility of any good leadership under this constitution, because the thing you will expect to be the modalities for a country that will get good leadership have been compromised by that constitution. And I can go to specifics. Section 6, subsection 6C of the Constitution of Nigeria relieves the government of responsibility towards the citizen. Governments at all tiers, by the implication of the contents of that clause in that section 6, subsection 6C, because that clause negates the entire chapter 2, where all the benefits of the citizen under the social contract. You are submitting your sovereignty, your life, your assets into a union so that you can get protection, you can have an economy, you can have a safe space, you can relate to the rest of the world as a citizen of Nigeria. All of the good things meant for the citizen. Hospital, school, road, equal opportunity that are in chapter 2 are truncated by the provision of section 6, subsection 6C, which says you cannot ask whether those things are done, or it renders them non-justiciable. That's the lawyer's language. But the simple meaning is that the government of Nigeria are absorbed, federal and state, they are absorbed of responsibility towards you, the citizen. These young people on the street have understood that. They now realize that, oh, all the while we were waiting for government to come and do this and do that, the Constitution actually empowers them not to, because you cannot ask them to. You come to section 6, subsection 6D, we're talking about impunity. There's a date written into that, section 6, subsection 6D. I want the journalists in our midst, I want the young people wherever they are to confront the lawyers in the land whether these things are not so. And if they are so, why are they keeping it for another day?